All right, I want to show you these really cool blocks. These are magic blocks, and they are really magic. You can heat them up with your heat gun. It has to be a heat gun. It can't be a blow dryer because you have to get it hotter than a blow dryer will get. You heat them up, and then you press them onto things like stencils, which is what I did here. You can press them onto keys. This is a stamp. This was a stencil. Yeah, so you can do all kinds of things, but you can also paint with them. So I'm going to start there because I want to make an interesting little background. So I'll take my little paper, and then I've got some media acrylic paints, which are pure pigment, and they do the coolest thing. They will make like a swirly technique on your surface if you load the little block right. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And then what's really neat about these is they don't dry like regular paints. Regular paints tend to feel really chalky and gritty. These feel really, really slick and smooth. They have just a teeny itty bitty bit of sheen. They're wonderful. So I'm going to take my sponge, my block, and I've got my paint. Let me grab it and get it over here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop paint on the edge, and if I could find my paper towel. And then I'm going to drop a mix next to it. Then I'll drop the next color next to it. And I'm just mixing with some white. And this is all in the media line. And you want it right on the edge. And you want it kind of a lot. Oops. Hi. Okay. Rinse that out. And you can take your paper and say I just want to go across. And then I can reload if I want to, but I think that's kind of a pretty effect. I think I will reload one more time. Maybe with slightly a little bit more. I'm going to get all the way across that paper. Yeah, still some of this white. Okay. Keep your brushes cleaned as you're going, otherwise you're going to be sad when your brushes don't work anymore. Okay, so I think I'm going to come right over yonder and just complete my page. Nice. Okay, so that is a really neat and interesting background that you can cut, collage, do all kinds of things. But now let's go ahead and stamp a little bit. Oh, and then don't forget when you're doing this, I think I alluded to it. Let's see if I have enough paint left on the paper. Don't forget that you can also do a swirly bit. And you can also, I don't know that I do have paint for this left, you can also go through stencils. So then you can make a really cool effect layering like that. So there is like the world is your oyster, if you will. And then what you do is I just take a little bottle of water, and I'm going to show you right here. Squirt that, and then I just wipe my paint right on off. And if you feel really anal about it, you can take it to the sink and clean it up the rest of the way. Okay, so I'm on a heat mat so that I don't wreck my table and stuff like that, and that'll go up to like 500 degrees, and it's also non-stick, and it also cleans up with a snap, like in a snap. So these are super handy, especially if you're crafting at your coffee table or your dining room table. So I'm going to do my heat gun one time. I've got a palette knife to keep it kind of where I want it, and I'm going to move the heat around. It needs to be evenly moved, about an inch from the surface. Make sure you're being careful and don't hurt yourself. Okay, and that'll get that plastic really smooth, work in a well-ventilated area. I haven't really noticed any scent from it, so I'm not super worried. Now I'm going to flip this over, and we had made a brick pattern using gesso on this multimedia project. So I'm just going to press that onto the product. So you are only limited by what you can think of to press this into. I've done sticks and leaves and paper and all kinds of things. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so, and then I'm kind of intrigued by this little gear over here, and I think I'm going to try multimedia-ing my stamp. So I'll hit it, and it'll erase. When I heat it back up, it will erase that area. However, by having different things braced in, and you really want to push down firmly. So now I've got brick and a gear. And then how about going up here and grabbing this little swirly bit. I don't want to erase all my bricks, so I'm going to heat up just in that one area. Let's see if I can capture that little swirly bit. Okay, so now I have a faint brick, and I've got some nice little swirly bits and things like that. I think we'll go over the top and see what some transparent white does. Translucent white. Okay, so I'm going to put my translucent white just here and there. I don't like it so much when I get it covered like perfectly. So I want to just kind of cover it slip slappy. And then let's go and see. Hey, that's kind of cool. Look at that. So you get this effect because it's translucent of a little bit. I didn't really get my brick detail in there very much. I would want to probably make a deeper brick and maybe intentionally rather than on this project. This project was made by just scraping the modeling paste over, but you can actually frost it through your stencil, then lift your stencil up and then let it dry. So you could make a series of little embossing plates just out of some cardboard. Cereal boxes make awesome, awesome, awesome things like that. So I could go again, maybe just in my little swirly bits areas, and I could stamp off and off, and you could really start building some interesting backgrounds. And zonk, and zonk. Yeah. Okay, so, and you can see that now, you have a piece of material that you can then apply other things to, that we can go, maybe we want to go with a little bit of our pink and just kind of swirl here and there, in and out. Through the stencil. Whoops. And once it starts moving, oh yeah, that's really cool. Look at that. So once it starts moving, you're toast, so you might as well just kind of get out of there. And then maybe we can go over with a little bit of intentionally placed, I don't want to cover, oops, hi. Hold things down. Key when you're doing stenciling. Okay, so yeah, we're starting to just really build a really beautiful background. You could do any number of techniques with that. Love it. Okay, I've got some Live, Love, Laugh stencils, and I don't know that I want to do all of them right there. I could. This could be kind of fun. I can move that one there, that one there, and just play around. And then maybe that one there. So here's what we'll do, is I've got some of my darker colors of the same line out. So I had started with quinacridone magenta, and I'm going into the violet color. So I'm going into the darker color, and I am going to hold this down, pretend like I have extra hands. And then what I'm going to do is on my reds, so that the words show up, I'm going to do my letter in the red. Oops, ran out of paint. Okay, now I'll go ahead and blot that off on my paper towel. And I'm going to go into phthalo turquoise on my blue, because that's just the most beautiful color in like the universe. And I'll go get a clean brush for my green, and I've got Viridian green. So just whatever darker green you've got. Fade that in. And then you could kind of fade into each of the colors next to you just a little bit so that they're not isolated. Okay, I'll pull that off. Oh, look how cool that is. That's awesome. Okay. And we've got our, I wonder if we want to love right on top and then laugh down at the bottom. Can't decide. Okay, let's just try it. So then once again we're holding down. So if you had a card, imagine how fun this would be to send this card to somebody. We'll go into our blues, fading over there to our thing, and I'll have to get, I like these little dome brushes because they're super cheap, and I can have a whole pile of them so I can move from color to color. I probably have about 30, maybe even more, but I like to go quickly. Don't like to poke around. Okay, and we'll go into our green. Now you can use hand sanitizer. Oops, let's get that off a little bit more. You can use hand sanitizer to clean these, and then they're not wet as long as if you washed them in water. And then blend your colors back and forth. Yoop. Okay, this one didn't come out very dark, so I'll lay that back over. Maybe I didn't even do it. It's possible I didn't do it. Okay, and the other thing I love about these is that they dry almost instantly. Okay, now this one I feel like I need to have it even being just a little bit more contrasty. But maybe not. Maybe I'm feeling like it might need to be darker. Let's get out a little bit of our, we got a Lazy Susan with this stuff on there. Let's get out just a teeny bit of black, and we'll mix that with the colors, each of the colors, and we'll just brush mix. So just a little brush mix of the blue and the black, and get that really strong. Okay, teeny bit of black with our dark red, maybe a little bit more. And then with our green, just a teeny bit, and I don't know that that's going to show if I get it too dark, so I'm not going to add but just a touch. I want it to still read green. Okay, let's see what we look like. Yeah, awesome. Okay, next the magic part. Let's make it disappear. Just heat it and watch it fade away. And then you can instantly, if you want to, go right on over something else. And you've got whatever your next thing is. Make it disappear. And go again. This is pretty magical. So I hope you enjoyed. Remember, you can go through stencils, you can go through you know, little wood cutouts if you've got them laying around, tree branches. We used a pile of paper, spools, bobbins, thread, anything. Just anything you want, and you can use them over and over. And we've got a couple that have gotten, oh, and I did lace too. I don't know where my lace one is. That might have gone home with somebody else. But even as fine as lace stamps out really, really good. Here's some of my little examples. So that's an example of the lace that I did. And then, of course, the honeycomb. And I've got more laying around someplace, but I can't find them. Anyway, but if you forget to wash really well, you can still get the design out, but the shape of the butterfly is going to stay because the paint is still there. So, but it will flatten out. Now where this has gotten a little bit thick here, this has got gunked up paint, you might still leave a little bit of an impression, but that's perfectly flat now. But the next time I put paint over it, that will stick to whatever I've got there, and that'll take care of itself in the end. So you do want to make sure, squirt them and wipe them off in between. They do stain a little bit. This one was cleaned, but it just stained. So, but that's not a problem. This one definitely just had paint left on it.